Hello everyone. So I'm working on a Discord bot for our Gaiwan team. We want to automate some of the tasks and I've been working on it locally for the time being. And as you can see here, this is our bot named Luyu and it registers a couple of commands and we want to add more integrations to it from Notion, Clockify, etc. So I want to deploy this and this is what I'm going to try and do right now using Docker. So let's get started. So we have this function here. We're using integrant to set up our system. And we have this init key for Discord bot, right? So it kind of initializes the Discord bot and it starts running. But the problem is I've been doing this from the REPL, right? I can just pretty much just run this right here. I don't have the REPL. I can probably jack in really quick. So let's do that. So as we can see, I've jacked in here. Let's run this bot. Sorry, with the integrant key. So let's do that. Okay, so here we can see that the bot has started running. And let's open up our Discord and we can see that the bot is online. So let's send this command again and the bot replies back, right? So that's cool. But now since we know that this function starts up the bot, what we really want to do is we want to run it from the command line. So let's do that as the first step. Let's open up depths.eden and we have these aliases, right? So let's add another alias here. So let's probably add something called as run bot and let's give it a exec function attribute. What it's going to do is it's going to go to this particular namespace and it's going to call this function. And we also want to pass it some args, as you can see on the right here. So let's do that using exec args and let's provide it a profile of production and let's provide it a key. The key is the integrant key here, which is Discord bot. Perfect. So let's actually open up a terminal now and let's try to run this bot. So let's do clj a dev and x run bot. So this is going to call this particular function alias. This is nothing but an entry point. You can read more about it on the Clojure docs. So just give it a second here and awesome. So as we can see, the bot is connected again here. That's sweet. If we kind of exit out, we can see that the bot has died. So that's awesome. Now what we want to do is we want to figure out a way so that this entire thing can be done inside a Docker file in an isolated environment without any dependencies on the host machine. So let's do that. Let's create a Docker file. So I'm going to use a base machine of Clojure, base image, and I like to be specific. So I use OpenJDK 11 tools depths and Slim Buster, was it? Or what's the newer Debian Bullseye? Yeah, Bullseye. And this is the base image, right? We could probably save this and just do a Docker build if you want to, but let's do a little bit more here. Let's set up a work directory of /app and let's copy everything from this folder into the app folder. Once you've done that, basically we've created source, like we've copied all the source files in there. So let's also give it a command so that it can run it at the end of the like when the docker container starts up. So let's do that. Let's give it Clojure and we don't need the alias for dev here. We just need the X alias, which was runbot. So let's do that. Let's save this and let's build this image. So as you can see, I've already built it. That's why it was pretty fast, but it might take a little bit of time. when you try to build it. Okay, so the image is built. Now let's run this image, and let's provide the RM attribute here so that the image container kind of gets removed automatically. I'll talk about this why we want to do this. So let's run it like this, and you can see here that it started cloning all of this, right? That's because there is no cache present. Like I've never run this command before, so the cache is not the like Docker has not cached this particular layer. And also because we have specified the RM attribute, right? So the cache will never be persisted. It's always going to start from scratch. But hopefully when once this is done, we should be able to see our bot come to life again. So our bot is not alive right now, bot is not online. So let's wait for a minute and see. Okay, so here we can see that the bot is back online, but the bot this time was built completely inside the container, right? Um, we don't need a host. We don't need any dependencies on the host to build this except for Docker. So that's sweet. So let's kind of exit out and our bot is offline again. So now what I want to do is I want this exact thing, but so that it happens on my server and it keeps running 24/7. Um, how do I go about doing this? I think there are multiple ways to do this. Luckily, I actually have my own Docker Hub registry on my own VPS. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the image. I've already pushed a test image here. I'm going to push this image into this registry. We are going to pull this particular image from this registry into a server. So let's do that. Let's do Docker tag, and we are going to tag the existing Luyu image, and then we are going to provide a repository, a registry, and then give it another name. So since I already have Luyu here, let's create another image here. Let's do it Luyu2, and I've tagged that. So now all I need to do is I need to push this to my registry. So the push is complete, and if we refresh the catalog here, we can see that we have another image over here called as Luyu2. And ideally at this point you want to kind of SSH into your machine, into your server, and you want to pretty much do a Docker run Luyu here. But let's not do that for now. Let's not do this manually. I also host Portainer on my system, which is kind of an easy way to manage containers running in their state and life cycle. So all I have to do is I need to add this. I need to set up my registry, which I've already done, and I can pretty much write Luyu latest, Luyu2 latest here. And let's say I want to auto remove this container once it's done, and I can just deploy the container. So let's give it a name, Luyu2 test, and deploy the container. So the container has been created. Do note that the bot is offline right now. And if we check the logs for this container, right? If we check the logs, you can see here that it started downloading everything, right? It's downloading everything once again. So once this is complete on the server, the Docker container should start up. And Portainer is nothing but a UI, right? It's just a fancy UI. So you can always, just Docker PS into your machine, and you can see what do we have here? We have this Luyu2 latest, right? It's running. We can probably even check the logs. So Docker logs for what? Luyu2, right? So the same logs which show up here, we can kind of find it here. It's just a fancy UI. Anyways, looks like the container has run and our bot is live again. So that's pretty much it. I think that is a really easy way to deploy a Clojure app. But let's go a little bit further now. The problem with this container is that once I stop this, it's going to die because I kind of checked that box, right? Like delete it, auto remove it. So let's just remove this container for now. And our container is gone, and our bot should also disappear soon. What I want to do now is I don't want my bot to be downloading this thing again and again, right? The Docker file is supposed to be kind of an artifact which we just run. Like it's just supposed to run the things. It's not supposed to be building things, right? It's not supposed to have the source code inside of it. That kind of defeats the purpose, right? We could just have done a simple git push and then just run Clojure using a systemd unit service. I think this is not the best way to use a container. So let's go a little bit further. Let's open up our Docker file here, and let's do another step in here. So let's kind of what we really want to do is we want to build a jar, and then instead of running Clojure x runbot, right, we want to kind of run this jar, if that makes sense. So we build a jar and then we run this jar. So let's do that. Let's figure out how would we go about doing it. So for building a jar, let's look at tools.builds, right? Clojure tools.builds.abi. Right. So where's the doc tools.build guide? Yeah. So this is a way to basically something very similar to line uber jar, but this is for the tools.deps for the projects which are using Clojure CLI. So let's do that. Let's kind of you should probably be reading all this, but let's do a compiled uber jar application build. Let's copy all this and let's create a file called as build.clj in the root of our project, and let's paste that in here. So if we kind of look at this, let's change the lib name. It doesn't really matter what this is since we're building an uber jar. Let's just call it discord, and let's change the version name. We've got a depth, we've got clean, and we've got uber. Okay, this looks about right, but we still, since this is an uber jar, right, it's supposed to run something. So let's go back to tools and let's search for main. Okay, so we've got the jar function. So, okay, so uber function takes a main attribute, right? So let's give that, and let's give it, the class where the main function is located, right? So let's do that. And now we also kind of need to install this tools.build, right? So go to the GitHub page and let's copy paste this dependency. And we kind of also need to mention the namespace, right, where it's going to get built. So let's check what was the, yep. So this is an alias with particular depths and ns default to build. Got it. So now that we have this, let's open up our terminal again. Let's do clj tools build and uber. So this will take a few seconds, but it will create a jar file for us. A jar is basically a Java archive file, something very similar to a zip file, and it's going to create an executable jar file for us. So we will be able to execute it directly via the Java command. For the Java command, we need JRE on our system. We don't even need an SDK, the JDK. Okay, so let's check out the target folder, and as you can see, uh, there's the jar file which was created, a standalone jar file. Let's try to run this with a string as an argument. Our main function will actually read this string and convert it into Eden. So let's see what happens now. We should get an error, yes, because we don't have the Discord bot token. That's right. Yep. So let's actually give it an environmental token here. Perfect. Now that we know how to run it, let's actually copy this command. Let's go back to our Docker file and let's actually This is the run command, right? But we still have to do the build command. So for building, we will do closure t build. Okay, so this command creates something in the target directory, or maybe source, and then let's copy the slash source slash target star standalone.jar, and let's copy this to slash app.jar. Okay, and now we can pretty much run this directly at slash app.jar. But we still need this token, right? So we will use docker environment variables for that. We don't need to mention this. And yeah, I think this is a good start. So let's try and run this docker container now. So let's build it. Oh, sorry. So kind of need to run this, right? Hmm. Okay, so now the difference here is that all of this downloading stuff, right? This is going, the building process is going to happen on the time of creation of this image, not at the runtime. So that is a huge improvement, I believe. So let this happen. Ideally, we can also kind of hook this up with GitHub Actions. Maybe we can look, maybe I can do that in the future. So now that we have all of this, right, let's actually look how to do Docker environment. There's this e tag, right, which gives the environment variables. We can probably put in the Docker bot token in there. Okay, apparently we don't need to copy it this way. What we actually want to do is run copy. So let's build this again. Perfect. So let's try to run this now again. And this is why I added the RM flag before, because now we are going to run this container which should boot up instantly, right? Because we have this, we have everything, all the dependencies already installed. We have the jar file available. We just need to run it. So let's do it. Sweet. So we again have the bot token error. So let's actually try and provide the Discord bot token. Great, that works. Now all we want to do is this Docker file is not optimized properly, right? We can probably look into that, um, so that the layers don't break on every build. But before do that, or maybe let's do that first, right? So what's happening is every time we build, um, everything will start downloading once again, because anytime there's a source change, all the next layers are going to break their cache. And we actually have the steps installed. So something like copy dot deps dot eden, and then we run something like just closure, right? So what we'll do is we'll run closure with the p tag, which is prepare, so it kind of prepares and downloads everything, and only then will we copy the rest of the things, right? And then we build the jar. So this will this might help with the caching. So let's check it out. We've saved this. Let's actually build it again. So now you can see that when I run closure p, it's downloading everything first. So hopefully all of these things will get cached. Okay, looks like that worked. And let's try to run this. Sweet, that works. So let's build it again and see if the caching works. Awesome. So when nothing changed, the cache works. But what if I change something, right? Let's probably go to the main file. And let's just add a comment here. Hello. Let's save that and let's try to run the build again. Okay, so as you see here, uh, this particular command, right? So we are kind of having cache for the actual build, but we don't have cache for the build alias. So let's do that actually. Let's exit out. Let's go back to our Docker file. Okay, so let's run one command for the base and then let's run one more preparation for the build and probably the dev paths. Let's do that. Let's exit out of this. Let's build it again. Awesome. So closure p is already being cached. That's great. And hopefully the a build dev should also get cached from next run onwards. Awesome. So what we really want to do now is once again go back to our file and let's make a change. So let's delete this and let's try to build this again. Hopefully most of the things will be cached. Awesome. So we've got the normal preparation cached. We've also got all the build dependencies cached, and now it's only going to run the Uber jar. So that's fantastic. Let's kind of run this. Perfect. So our jar is ready. Now let's try to run it once again. And that should start running. Perfect. So now that we have a much better container, let's tag this again to Luyu3, let's say, and let's push it to the registry. Now since I've made so many changes into the Docker file, right, it's going to take a while to push all of this, so let's wait for that. Okay, so we seem to have pushed this image Luyu3. As you can see, some of the layers were reused from Luyu2, which is awesome. So let me open up Portainer again and let's try to add this container. So last time when I did this, you could see into the logs that it was downloading everything, right? It took up a while for this image to start running. But let's see what will happen now. Let's just auto remove for the time being. Or maybe you know what? Let's add a restart policy of unless stopped and let's not auto remove this. But one thing we'll have to add is that we'll have to add an environmental variable. So let's do that. Let's add an end, let's say Docker, sorry, Discord bot token, and let me add the secret here. I won't show that to you. So let me just add it quickly and I'll be back. Okay, so I've added the environment variable and yeah, everything else seems to be fine. So let's do that and let's call this as Luyu3 final bot or just Luyu bot. Luyu Gaiwan Discord bot. Let's deploy this now. I actually maintain uh, all of my Docker. So I don't usually use Portainer uh, that often. Okay, let's check the logs, and the bot is already live. So that's super quick, right? Let's try to get the times for all of our team members of Gaiwan. That's sweet. So the bot is working and live. So I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to be doing adding a lot of more features to this bot. So hopefully the build process is easy enough. I'll probably add a simple makefile or a Babashka script to automate the rest of the things. Typically, I don't use Portainer for things like this, but since I'm going to be developing this bot a lot, I think Portainer makes sense to be able to just delete and come up with new images or containers. What I typically do is I have a repository where I kind of maintain a folder for each repo, each service, and then I have a Docker Compose file for them. So this Docker Compose file kind of has all the data necessary to run up this container, and then this is kind of my infrastructure as code, like a very simple way to do it. And I no longer, so there's no mutable state of Portainer, right? Because everything is checked into the repository here. So that's kind of it. um, yeah, hope you learned something about how to deploy a Clojure app. Thank you.